Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill your friends and get your gaming goodness each and every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me on the couch, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here recording this podcast instead of playing Horizon.
You don't actually sound happy, by the way.
I'm very excited.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Super happy to be here.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you for your attendance. Also here, Ciaran Marchett, who's moved into a new couch room.
Yeah, I've got a new abode. I've moved into a new couch room. All right, good on you.
There's a couch
good
in the
on
background.
you. New couch room. It is a different couch. It is a new couch. It's comfy. But no, it is all new and improved. And I quickly moved everything in and was like, my parents were like, "Can you help us like with the rest of the house?" I was like, "No, I need my computer set up so I can podcast, boys. Like I need to be ready to go."
Your mum's like, "Don't call me a fucking boy."
You know, Dad realized something about it.
I appreciate your commitment, Ciaran. I'm like Ash over here complaining because he can't play video games.
Well, I just know I'd be.
I appreciate you putting a couch in front of the door, so there's no chance that your dogs can come in and
there's
turn
no
the computer
chance.
and stop the recording.
Exactly. That was one time.
So not to give away, don't need to blueprint your whole house here, but yeah. So video viewers, there's a couch behind Ciaran, and then there's a door behind that which you blocked off. Where's that door lead?
That door leads to like the main lounge area and the kitchen and stuff.
Okay, and then you got your bedroom behind your right
I've got
shoulder.
my door, which is a bedroom behind there.
Yeah.
Because my parents were nice enough where we discussed when we're moving into this house, what are we having? Like, where's our layout of the house? And I somehow talked them into giving me the master bedroom with the private study and the ensuite bathroom and walk-in robe.
Did you say you need it because you need...
I didn't, and I actually felt really bad when because they offered, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense for me to have this little area. And then, you know, I caved to their kindness. And,
cave to their kindness.
What a cave sentence. To their kindness. So I have... No, but the biggest... I mean,
it's parents just taking care of their baby boy. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, their beautiful baby boy. No, the big thing was, and I guess for it probably did show up maybe a decent amount in podcast listening and recording when I'd moved back in with my parents to start saving money. Where I was podcasting had no door. So it was just a massive opening to the kitchen area and their lounge room.
It was noticeable at times. I feel like, and I assume Ash did the same, we did as much as we could to
limit that.
Deal with it and limit it.
And
but there's a limit.
Yeah. There's a limit. There's the same time where like I'll talk and as I'm talking, something will go off in the background. I'll be like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you're not talking and then your fucking dad's in the corner.
Because I can just mute that
yelling
shit
about
I just remember
gibberish or whatever the fuck he's on about.
Yeah.
And I just get rid of that. But when you start talking and your dad's suddenly just like fucking whoop with the dogs.
I am what people like my friends refer to as a talkative arsehole sometimes. And my dad is me, but 30 years older.
Yeah, so more capable.
More capable.
My impression is based on my time meeting him. It's not based on.
It is.
Yeah.
I know. Is that he is just me, but more capable with like tools and handyman shit.
Why are you calling him capable?
General life skills. So of course he is loud and yells at the TV about stuff he doesn't agree with.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest.
I
think when you moved back in, I was like. Wasn't like annoyed at you because I can't really like blame you, but of course it was that like the editing thing. I was like, this is kind of annoying, and then I got used to it. But when you were like, we're moving, and then he was like, I'm gonna have this room and everything, I was like, thank fuck.
Yeah, it was a big thing. It was a big thing where I was like, I knew next house I moved, whether it was a place that I bought for myself or just moved in wherever they went next. I was like, no, I need an area with a door. And potentially like the other side of the house.
Yeah, doors are underappreciated, I think.
Doors are pretty dope.
Love a good door.
Doors are, I don't...
Do appreciate them.
Yeah, no. Especially when you're a general podcaster and just, it's nice to have doors. So yeah, I have my bedroom like right over there. Dylan's like, I'm going to cut it out of the shop because it's ugly and I hate it.
I mean, I showed it. Like I went to the full screen. It's there.
Oh, you did. You did go to the full screen.
We went full screen and I got rid of it again. So.
Yeah. And then you're like, it doesn't frame right.
The frame of your door.
But then the framing doesn't frame right. So, but no, once I get some artwork,
Have you got a mirror behind you?
there is a mirror right there.
Yeah.
Like that is a mirror. So once I get some artwork up on the wall behind me, so it's less white, and we'll get that beautiful picture that was sent through to me by Double Jump and Final Fantasy. Some other stuff. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. Yeah.
Is this like that streamer thing where they like stand up and then bend forward to do something on their desk, and you know their fucking asses in the mirror, and they're like, "Oh, whoopsie!" All those fucking like Twitch files.
You know what? You've
You're trying to take over Alinity over here.
I hadn't really thought of that. That's not a good thing. Like, especially if it's just been a day.
I don't know why
like,
Dylan's focused on that. Why did that
Dylan is focused on it, and it's just like it's once it's obviously it says a lot more about Dylan than me, but like podcasting some days just don't feel like wearing any pants to podcasting, and that is what it is, right?
It's the same. Watch
but then
that
also
mirror.
there's those
Karen,
days.
Karen superfans out there. Watch that mirror.
Ciaran superfans. If I have to, there better not be any reasons for me to stand up on the podcast. Yeah. Can we talk about video games? No.
We've got a big stream this coming Saturday.
Yeah. So Saturday, this is out Monday. So it's not this week, but it's fine. This coming Saturday, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Twitch.tv/Explosion Network. We are doing a live podcast recording from 7 till I've put down to 8, I think, roughly. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, times, whatever. And then after that, we'll play some games. I still don't think we've locked in officially what we got, but some sort of party game, something we can do. Among Us if we get enough people, What the Dub if we don't. But who the fuck else knows on this list? There's Jackbox, stuff
Dylan's
we own,
gonna
whatever.
just so everybody's aware, right? Every listener's aware. For Among Us, Dylan will sabotage it.
I'm not.
You heard how dismissive he was just then?
Yeah,
because
because
was
Among
dismissive.
Us.
I was like, if we get the people.
When we were planning this, Dylan's like, what's the minimum amount of people that we need to play Among Us? He's fucking Googling it. He's like, 4 people. We can play with 4 players. Sweet. It's like...
And then you said we need like 22.
Considering...
If you want to play with us, Among Us, let us know. At Explosion Pod on Twitter or
We need like
mail
6
at
people apparently.
explosionnetwork.com.
Yeah, if you want the opportunity to call Dylan a sussy Barker...
If you want the opportunity to murder us in a video game,
if you want to take a knife to every time Ashley's talked shit about Xbox Game Pass, it's your opportunity.
or throw me out of event, yeah.
Explosionnetwork.com/Discord.
Yep. And also, it's a chance for us to see how far Ashley's come, to see if we can leave him with a Twitch chat and him have a decent conversation and not just ask about the weather.
It's the first thing I'm going to ask.
All right, video games. Housekeeping, done. Kieran's room. That was, I mean, look, you don't move that often. I feel like we had to cover that.
I'm going to move really often now just because you said that. I'm going to fucking...
It's fine.
I'm going to build a van. No, I'm going to build a van, a podcasting van, and we're just going to drive around. And
Calm down,
podcast
Steve-o.
in different
That seems worse.
Reviews and previews that I've posted this week. Nekograms. I finally wrote a review for that. The game came out in December. I've had it since then, been playing it, but December was just hectic. I never got around to it. So this is the mobile game. Played it at PAX 22 years ago, whenever the last PAX happened. It's a very cute cat-based puzzle game in which it's like that sliding block puzzles that you do, where you got to, there's different shapes of blocks and you have to move them, try and like wiggle them around to get them to certain positions or whatever. So this one there's cats and pillows, and they can't like go over one another, but you've got to make sure the pillows are under all the cats. So it's just sliding, and pillows can only go like one direction, cats can only go the opposite direction. So it's just a sliding block puzzle game, but with cute cats and a cute art style. It's got like 3 worlds. I think it's like 120 levels. Like that. It has an endless mode or whatever, and I think they're doing more content. So Australian game, really cool. Music was kind of meh. That was sort of one thing that let me down. And I feel like there's like, if they're just some more unique mechanic, I feel like often I was like, wouldn't it be cool if it was like, oh, this cat has this ability or something, or if you move it, I don't know, just something. I feel like just something to separate it a bit more from just being like a sliding box puzzle game. Something to make the cats feel a bit more unique than just being cute would have like elevated it that tiny bit. But I gave it a 7.5. So that'll be up. In My Shadow review was posted by Jacob. He gave it a 4, saying, at first the game was fun, but the frustrations and lack of polish showed through early. Hidden dangers caused me frustration and made my enjoyment of title falter. While the story was interesting, the developers could have expressed it in a better way. This is like a shadow, it's like a platforming game where you solve puzzles and you platform over stuff by playing this character who's like a shadow on a wall. Has like an interesting premise from what I could gather, and it's dealing with like mental health and stuff like that. So it seemed interesting, but I think it came out on PC last year, and then this was a PlayStation late last year, and then this is the PlayStation release. So didn't love it. I finally posted a review for What the Dub because I was like,
that was very random.
That was very random.
That was. I was like, where the fuck did this come from? I was like, is this supposed to be like a throwback article? Are we doing this now?
It was on my list. I have a list on my phone, and I was like going through and like reordering it and stuff like that. And I saw What the Dub there. I'm like, fuck, I never actually got around to that, did I? I think it's because we did so many streams and like, and then I made a bunch of YouTube videos. I used all the time I could have to instead of just writing a review to like make some YouTube videos in the streams or whatever. And I was like sitting here and I wrote that day. I think I wrote a couple movie reviews. I was like, I think I can knock out a What the Dub as sort of a thing or whatever. So I just went through, knocked a What the Dub review out. So I gave that game a 7. Who knows? We might be playing it this Saturday. What time tells? But in case you don't know what the Dub is, and you never saw our Twitch streams, I was playing it a lot there for a couple of weeks or whatever. But it's a game that uses a bunch of like, I presume, commercial free or like royalty free. Sorry, movie clips, old commercials,
public
TV
domain,
shows,
yeah.
public domain stuff. Yeah, like a lot of black and white clips from like very B, C grade movies, TV shows, and stuff. They bleep out a line that a character says, and then it's I think was it like 6 players, I think, or something is the max, something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone then writes a line in, and then one by one you'll watch it back, and like a little robotic voice says what you wrote, which sounds silly at the time, but actually becomes quite funny, and you sort of just buy into it. And then at the end, all the players plus an audience of up to 12 people, I think it is, can vote on the best one. And at the end, there's a winner crowned. You can set the amount of rounds. You can do like 3 rounds, 16 rounds, whatever. Yep. Go hard. And there's like a bunch of clips. There's like hundreds and hundreds of clips. I can't even remember, but there's a lot in the game. We definitely didn't see everything, but it leads to some rather funny scenarios. And it's definitely a really cool concept that I feel if the developer was a bit bigger and had a bit more money and they could get some clips in there for more recognizable stuff, the robotic voice changed depending on if it was like the clip was a male speaking person that's
male
bleeped
robot
or a
female
female.
voice
Yes,
robot.
just simple stuff I feel like would sort of help get it to that next level. A child robotic voice, like you'd base it like it's programmed. This clip is a child. This clip is this dude speaking, whatever. Simple stuff like that. It's still very fun, and it's if you've played the Jackbox games that are similar to this sort of system where you put stuff, it's that. One person owns it. You can play it on Discord with friends. A lot of people were streaming it. We were streaming it. Makes good content game or whatever, but 7 out of 10. That was the last thing. Last thing was I wrote this preview for Batora Lost Haven. So this is this will have a demo out on Steam during Steam Next Fest, which starts on the 21st of February. What day is that in our lives of time?
Monday.
It is Monday. There you go. So as on Monday. It's pretty cool. It took me like an hour to play the demo, so you can play it yourself if you'd like. So it's like a isometric top-down action game that combines 2 different combat styles. So the first one is a twin-stick shooter. So you're moving the character with left stick, right stick. She's blasting attacks like across the screen, pew pew pew, fun stuff like that. I think that's blue or it's purple. So purple is that attack. So if you shoot purple enemies with that stuff, it does more damage. You can press A or whatever you're playing it with. You press A and they'll switch to a sword attack. And this is a red attack, and this does more damage to red enemies. So this is when you can come in, you can press X to like spam, and now it becomes like hack and slash, or you can still use the right analog stick and they're still like hack and slashing. So combines hack and slash and twin stick shooter, and you have to constantly like change forms during battle to do the correct damage. It was pretty cool during the game. I was like, oh yeah, simple enough, whatever. And then you get to the boss fight, and that's when I was most impressed. Like, oh, this is actually pretty cool, because the boss fight, you have to like, your typical like dash dodging across the dodging. dashing
Are
across
you
the
okay?
whatever. I
Are
don't
you
know.
having a stroke?
Yes. At all points, at all points,
God.
at all times, am I
my
having a
gosh.
fucking stroke? You're dashing across the level as per usual, dodging attacks, this sort of stuff. But then the boss will be like purple, and you have to like shoot it with a ranged attack, and then it'll quickly switch to red. So you like sort of dashing to get the right damage in and stuff like that. That's why I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool mechanic that combines two different gameplay elements. Has some like puzzle stuff in there that was like simplistic, but sort of broke up the action. Story wise, I fucking don't know because it was a demo and it like chucks you into the game, presumably like 2-3 hours. It's like you're this character who I think Earth was destroyed and for some reason was zapped off Earth. So I think they're the last remaining human and now they're on some alien planet and then everything's fucked. Maybe their planet's going to get destroyed. You're going to save the day, presumably, or something. I don't really know. I thought it was cool though. I think it has a cool art style. The characters all seem somewhat interesting from what I could gather. The combat mechanics I thought were cool combination of games I like. Like two sort of things. I feel like this is kind of a game that Ash would potentially like if it all came together well.
Just looking at your article, I don't know why I get very much a vibe of the first time I saw Bastion, in terms of just a interesting kind of story-rich kind of game and world to dive into. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's just
has a lot of story in
intriguing.
Combat and whatever. And there's choices like. You can choose like to save certain characters or not, and then that affects the story and stuff like that. So yeah, I felt like this was a cool thing. I've got a full gameplay playthrough of the demo. If you don't play it, you can flick around some of that. That's in the article as well. But yeah, if you want to play a demo yourself, it's on Steam Next Fest as of the time you're listening to this. So there. Oh. I should have some more articles coming out the week of, well, this week as well for Next Fest. There's a few other things I'm planning to jump into over. The weekend, hopefully. Even though I have to work every day this weekend for some fucking reason. I don't want to play Horizon and other things, but I want to try and get some time for these demos because it, helps me look ahead for Kotaku Games writes, Platinum Games on NFTs, no positive impact and zero interest. In a recent VGC interview with the studio, newly minted CEO Atsushi Inaba and games like Kamiya gave their opinions about non-fungible tokens, as it typically is with a duo. Neither of them coached their comments. I understand it's a hot topic right now, and it's really starting to gain momentum, but the way that's gained momentum has been focused on profitability for the company, but with no positive impact on the creators or the users in any sense, said Inaba. So that's frustrating to see that happening. According to him, people who are promoting NFTs are trying to partner with game companies are doing it in a one-sided way, simply saying that there's money to be made. Quote, but how does it benefit the user or the creator? If I want to spend my time on something, I want it to benefit making good games. Kamiya goes, seems even less interested on NFTs, saying, quote, I have zero interest in this subject. There's not much to discuss. I just love, in a world where we're like every second week, it's like some game company or creator like gets into NFTs and then announces them and then cancels them because everyone gets angry at them. I love how Platinum Games, everyone that's in that company pretty much like has always like not held back their thoughts on anything like whenever they've discussed it. Yeah, usually they're like straight narrow. So I love how this is just like, no, fuck that shit. Pretty much. Yeah. So I was like, good on them.
I do love the final line of this article. But as industry vets, was it surprising to see Konami embrace NFTs? Not really, said Kamiya, who added, if it smells like money, Konami's going to be there in a heartbeat.
Say it as it is, Say it as it is.
Yeah.
So, love it. Nacon has acquired Daedalic Entertainment. So this is this week's game purchase. I know it's not Xbox purchasing someone, but
it's not very exciting, but
it's still
God damn it, million. Xbox.
It's not Xbox or
it's
PlayStation.
your serve.
Yeah. Can't believe Xbox got
outbought. Can't believe you've done this.
It's still 60 million, which I feel, like it's not billions, but I mean, it's still pretty good. So PC Gamer writes, video game industry acquisitions have dominated 2020, and here's another one, albeit less earth-shattering than Microsoft purchase of Activision Blizzard. French publisher Nacon has announced it will acquire Daedalic Entertainment. The German publisher and developer is best known for the Deponia series and the forthcoming Lord of the Rings Golem, but has also published a range of decent games such as Shadow Tactics Blades of Shogun and Felix the Reaper. The deal is worth 53 million euros, around 60 million, and comes after a pre-existing relationship with Nacon, already responsible for publishing the Lord of the Rings Golem. According to Nacon's announcement, Daedalic's current leadership team, CEO Carsten Fichtelman and COO Stephen Hans, will continue to run a company with a high degree of autonomy and development. It's interesting because I feel like to me, it's a weird one because I feel like if they were already publishing Golem, then I guess this means they have a lot of faith in Golem. And they're like, fuck yeah, like we're going to buy you before that game comes out, compared to Golem does really well. And then they're like, awesome. We enjoyed working with you and publishing that game. Come, let's do the next one. We're going to buy you up. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. I feel like Nikon's
Golem must be some good shit. That's what it is, man. It's just some good shit.
Golem's on some good shit is what I fucking reckon. Ash, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's an interesting pick up. Obviously, they're kind of a niche studio, so it kind of makes sense that they'd want the security of like a bigger publisher to like look after them in that as well. But they were also a publisher of other smaller studio titles. So is that all going to fall under the Nacon umbrella now? You would assume so.
Yeah. Well, it depends if they let them keep publishing. So.
Yeah, because they had like what on Wikipedia it says they got like 4 games that are to be announced for 2021 that they're going to publish. I
assume they would publish them, but maybe then they don't let them publish anymore. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really heard of them. We played like the first game of theirs I played was that Ken Follett's Pillars of Earth thing in 2017 when we started the Explosion Network. So that was like probably the earliest thing that I played from.
Yeah, and I've seen the like Depona games on Steam in massive bundles and that kind of stuff, and that kind of thing. But yeah, again, those point and click adventures are a very niche thing now. So, to be Nacon to pick them up is probably good for them for their long term future. Nacon has like the most bizarre collection of studios. I think they just have the most random amount of games attached. So, and properties.
Yeah, I feel like so. I mean, yeah, the current list is, and I'll leave the one that probably a lot of people don't. Well, the one we probably mostly last talked about was Big Ant Studios, because that was from last year, I think. Yes, from last year, according to this.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
So they got Big Ant Studios, Creature Studios, Cyanide, Eco Software. Actually, don't know who that is. Cloton. I don't know who that is either. Aisha Games, Nepokia. I don't know who that is. Rosewood Studio. They've got 53% according to Wikipedia. Spiders, which I think their new game's supposed to come out this year. I don't know. Midgar Studio.
Still Rising. Yeah, it's meant to come out this year.
So yeah, they do have an eclectic mix. I remember when they announced they brought Big Ant. I was like,
it's weird.
I think
why is this French studio buying an Australian?
And we talked about it. And was like, sure. Okay. That was a bit weird, but whatever works. Yeah, so that's interesting. Nacon picks up that one. Daedalic Entertainment. Maybe Golem's good. Find out soon. It's supposed to come out this year. So they say. Nintendo Life. Maybe. 1,000 digital-only titles estimated to disappear when Nintendo closes 3DS and Wii U eShop. Nintendo has announced there's beginning a phased shutdown for the 3DS and Wii U eShop stores. It's set to wipe out a huge amount of digital content on these systems, but just how many games can we expect to disappear? Well, we already know that Fire Emblem Fates Revelation and its DLC will be lost. Our friends at VGC have now done some rough estimates highlighting the number of games that will no longer be accessible to the masses. Here in the West, there are currently around 2,000 games available across the 3DS and Wii U eShop, and it seems that around 1,000 digital-only titles will be permanently disappear on these platforms. That's not to forget the virtual console offerings that will go missing with them, around 350 of them currently not available on the Nintendo Switch online services. Nintendo's phased closure of 3DS and Wii U eShop stores will see credit card usage removed by the service on the 23rd of May this year. Nintendo eShop card funds can no longer be added to the eShop accounts as of the 29th of August 2022, but download codes can still be redeemed until March 2023. So this was like sort of one of the bigger news stories this week, I guess. It was the relatively light news week because I guess like Horizon was coming and like reviews of that sort of dominated the news this week.
Horizon was coming and people have got Elden Ring.
Yeah, coming and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like this was like sort of the most talked about news story. Or like I think I saw a lot of people, at least on my Twitter timeline, were like upset about this to a degree in different ways. Losing games that they have on there and not being able to download them on their Switch or anything like that, which I think like is justifiable as much as we shit on the Wii U here. Like
you can still download them, right?
Not to your other console.
Not to your other console, though.
No. Like, if you keep the Wii U, yes, you can still play them. But
yeah,
it's just like that whole digital collection not carrying over to your other platform. It's one of the things that, like, PC gamers always sort of use as the trump card in all these arguments, which is that, people will be like, oh, I've had a Steam collection since fucking 1907 and my games like here everywhere.
I don't think it's as just uniquely to
it's not
PC gamers as much anymore, considering the amount of work Xbox and Microsoft have put into making more digital libraries more available. Sony is rumored to have is it Project Spark or whatever for the PlayStation 3
Sparta.
backwards compatibility?
Spartacus, sorry.
Spartacus. That's which is rumored for it. So there is some work. I think one of the biggest problems at the end of the day is Nintendo don't give no fucks. Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo wants to do. Was it last year PlayStation came out with wanting to shut down the Vita store and the PlayStation 3 store, and then due to fan discourse and backlash, they went back on that. Yeah. They backed off on that. That, I think people are holding their breath hoping Nintendo does the same. I don't see Nintendo doing that. Also, and one of the major sad things about this is, even though we do give the Wii U, it's a Fisher Price piece of crap.
We deservingly give the Wii U its fair share of
shit. When you've only spent 9 hours playing your favorite game.
I was going to say, I was going to bring up my stats. I was going to shout out my stats here. But if anyone wants to know, you can currently, and props to Nintendo for this because I like stats and I like these sorts of things. So I appreciate that they had this as a service. But my 3DS stats, to the which I was like, I played the 3DS? Like, apparently. 115 hours I played on my 3DS. A total of, across 13 total games. My most played game was Pokemon Shuffle for 22 hours, which is a free-to-play game on the system. The runner-ups were Bravely Default and Phoenix Wright something rather, because I couldn't remember the title, but shout out to James Penny because he tweeted at me and I was like, yes, that is the one I believe. And then my Wii U stats was 29 hours total played on the console across 13 games. My number one most played game was Bayonetta 2 at 9 hours because, as I've said on this show multiple times, it is the only thing I ever finished on the Wii U. The runner-ups were Mario Kart, so I probably played that for, I would say, just shy of 9 hours because I feel like I played it for like if you would have asked me prior to this, I would have been like, probably 10. So I feel like it has to be just shy of like thing. And then Super Smash Bros, which I don't love Super Smash, but I brought it at launch, probably put a few hours in, so and that was about it. So.
Is it Brawl? Yeah, I bought Brawl at launch.
Whichever one, I fucking don't know. I brought it, tried to get into it, tried again, failed. I was like, no, not for me.
I did have a good chuckle when I saw it was only 9 hours for Bayonetta. I was like,
that's a good length for a video game.
He played it once and he never went back. Now, for as good as he says it is, he's
I played it on my Switch.
Powered through, tried to finish the experience as quickly as possible because of this, both how terrible the Wii U is and how terrible Bayonetta is.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I loved playing it on the particular platform, but it's a fantastic game and you can eat shit.
Fantastically worth 9 hours of your life. But no, I think the other problem is, I guess, the Wii U and the 3DS are both the last locations of the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Where people were able to go and buy their favorite retro and classic games. And now that Nintendo has that shiny subscription service, they probably don't want people having those games anymore. Like from a business standpoint, they don't want those people having those games. They want those people having to pay for the subscription if they want to play those games on the Switch.
You had to buy them on the Wii U. It's not like they were free.
You did. No, but you had to buy them, but you could just buy the one game you wanted.
Yeah. But the one game probably costs as much. The one game costs as much, if not more, than a month's subscription online. So,
but at least I guess in that case you get to keep it for
you get to keep it on that system, and you can't buy them anymore as of a couple months from now.
Yeah. Which I think it'll be interesting to see if this does carry on and does go through, which I think is a
and then Nintendo doesn't give a fuck about what people say on Twitter.
It'd be interesting to see if there is like a random spike in Wii U's that have been either stocked full of games and people are selling them, or just to how we have the same with like say PT hard drives for the PlayStation. It's just stuff that people can't download and get anymore. So if people are going to be trying to flood the market with these to make them available, I don't know. I just think Nintendo's kind of dropping the ball on this one a fair bit, but Nintendo makes weird decisions in general.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts, Ash?
I just wonder how much it costs to keep these services up and running, I guess.
Well,
really,
not enough people are buying the games to justify how much it costs. Is the answer, I guess.
Well, yeah, if it only costs you like a fraction of whatever you're making on the Wii on the Switch store, like why wouldn't you keep it running? On the other hand, I don't think you're going to miss any of this. All these people want to talk about preservation and stuff. Maybe stuff doesn't need to be preserved. Not everything needs to be preserved, mate. Not every single scrap of paper needs to go in a museum, is what I'm saying. What? How much? What about the actual developers? How much responsibility do they have to keep these things alive? You know what I mean? Why is it just Nintendo that's responsible for the preservation of all these games? They must keep this.
Who ain't your fucking Cheerios and spat them back up?
You can still play the games if you bought them. It's so entitled. It's like, maybe one day
you can't download. You won't be able to download them again.
Yeah, you can.
Can you? Will there be a space for you to download them again once the store is closed?
I assume so. It'll just be in your library or whatever. I don't know. But if you've got your advance notice, download all your things. I mean, if you didn't want to buy these games in the 10 years that the Nintendo DS has been out, you probably were never going to buy these games.
It might have just been it could be a marketing strategy of now that they're going to run out. People are probably flocking to spend money on games.
Yeah, smart. Get that last push. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like people are getting upset about something because there's a potential that maybe they'll want to play one of these things and they won't be able to. And that's why they're upset. Because the options are slightly diminished of what they could play. Out of the billions of games out there, that it just happens to be one of those games they can't play. And that's what they won't be able to possibly play. And they're upset about that.
Video game preservation is important to us at Explosion Network.
Our spokesperson has spoken, so I feel like we should move on from the topic now because the lawyer was on the line. So just to clarify where we stand.
All they need to do is buy a Wii U at the games library or whatever. I don't know who's preserving all these games. Who's preserving all these games?
Sorry, the games library?
I know. I assume there's somebody doing like a museum or whatever. I don't know. Words.
Yeah. That's what.
Wait. Sorry. Is this Mr. Ashley Hobley that used to fire and brimstone me every time I used to discuss a digital future, and every time I parade it, yet you're not?
I mean, let's be honest. If it's not physical, then does it really deserve to be preserved?
You don't deserve to be preserved.
I won't be,
Damn.
I've already got it in my will. I want to be burned alive.
Yeah. Well, that's not how wills work. They're specifically for things after you die.
That's true.
Well, wills can do a whole range of things. It depends on kind of their personalities, on what they.
I would like to be brought back to life, to be burned alive.
Just start my
future's
heart
now.
up for a couple of beats and burn.
Necromancy is a thing.
Damn.
Went dark. All right.
Damn.
Let's move on.
Fuck.
Let's get into some video game movie news. Well, actually, before that, quickly, Uncharted's out. Well, I'm going to mention this in Platt this week, so we'll hear about it everywhere. Uncharted, the movie, based on the video game Uncharted, is out. So me, Ash, and Buddy Watson from Radio Watson did a spoiler cast. You can find that over on the What Do You Want to Watch, podcast feed. Of course, you can find your way there via explosionnetwork.com, as you can everything else mentioned on the show. And we'll discuss it a bit more, spoiler-free thoughts on Platinum Explosion. But I can say now, Ash, thumbs rating, video game movie start to 2022.
I get thumb rating. Oh,
Yeah.
I guess one up, one down.
I was going to say
It has to be. I gave it a 7. So it's like it's like one up, one like halfway.
No, it's not.
But it's got to be down.
Wow,
I guess
it's 1.5 way.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's above average. Whoa, 2 thumbs down.
Dylan slam dunked them down. Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thumb rating. It's double thumb up, one down, double down. And unfortunately, Uncharted, in that scheme of ranking, it meets a double down. I'm Undertaker, and I'm choke slamming this motherfucker straight to the fucking ground.
Oh my god.
No,
fucking
it's Batista.
Tombstone Pile driver.
No, what?
Wait, what?
Batista did the 2 thumbs down, right?
Yeah, but
No, I mean,
but he was just. I don't think he was.
that wasn't the. I was just talking about choke slamming, so
Okay.
it's fine.
He was. Yeah.
I don't know how you're supposed to choke someone with your 2 hands down.
I'm not doing it at the same time. Fuck's sake. Bioshock movie in works at Netflix, writes The Hollywood Reporter. Video game franchise Bioshock is getting another shot at film adaptation, this time via Netflix. The streaming giant has partnered with Take-Two Interactive, the game's parent company, to develop a potential cinematic universe. Vertigo Entertainment and Take-Two will serve as producers. No writer or filmmaker is on board this time. The partnership deal has been in the works for almost a year. That's all there is to the story. My thoughts that aren't really hot, and pretty sure it's the same as everyone else, which is that Bioshock, fucking awesome, would make an awesome movie, TV show, whatever, if done right. It would also make a terrible movie that would just be corny as all hell and weird and awkward if done terribly. So I don't feel like this will fall in the middle. I feel like this will either be really good, or people will be like, why is this fucking little girl running around with a syringe and sticking into people, and like, why is that fucking dude in the suit look really weird, and why isn't he attacking the player?
Oversized.
Yeah, there's already so many dilemmas I have with this, which is that the game, this is the thing with the interactive medium, the game, you see a big daddy. Okay, if you don't attack them, they'll leave you alone. If you attack them, they'll start attacking you. So really, as much as they're, for people who haven't played the game, they're like, oh, the big daddy, they're like the bad guys of the game. No, the big daddies in that game were super interesting because they were actually sort of centered as this almost neutral thing. They will fight the splinters and all this other shit, but
I'm going to guess that they don't actually... What my pitch would be for this would not be, don't do anything to do with any of the games. Do a story about the creation / downfall of Rapture.
Yeah, that's probably the more likely route to go.
Do like Andrew Ryan, do all that, Atlas, all those kinds of people and how Rapture came to fall and came to fuck up, and where the little sisters came from, and the big daddies being created and stuff like that. I think that'd be a really good.
It's almost where I feel like
really
a TV show would be better, because you could do the story of the game and just do a lot of flashbacks, and you could tell that like two sides of the coin storyline, but you just wouldn't have enough time in a movie. Whereas you could do that and you could reveal a lot and give a lot of backstory, because and that would work better as a TV show, because in the game, obviously, and I think about, I haven't played the game for like 10 years or whatever, but you think about the game, you're exploring like that apartment level, and you're doing a lot of reading and hearing those audio logs, and that's how you're getting all the backstory about what happened in the downfall of Rapture, like all told through that. That won't work for a movie, so of course having these to and fro flashbacky sort of things would be a good way to actually tell this story, I think. Like, and then the eventual reveal to Andrew Ryan at the end, I think could be told well that way. But yeah, I felt like this would either be really good or really bad. I don't know.
I think my problem is, I feel like Netflix has now developed a track record for adaptations that is very sour for a lot of people, especially if you're from, if you look back at Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, Bleach.
I mean, Cowboy Bebop's an anime. I was like, the video game record's
what video game stuff are they?
League of Legends,
Arcade.
Dota.
Yeah.
Oh, Arcade.
Castlevania.
Okay. But this isn't going to be an animated, is
No,
it?
but I mean, in the scheme of things, so far their
Witcher.
video game stuff has been
Arguably.
Which is based on a book, I guess. But
Which is a book, but all right. I'll back off a little bit.
the anime stuff they haven't done well in.
But the anime stuff they haven't done well, which is at the same time is like, I don't know. This is I hope they apply the same kind of brush that they approached Arcane, the Dragon's
Admittedly,
Blood,
they had very
and
little
The
to do with
Witcher.
Arcane.
Yes, correct.
But still. Continuing on, Halo Paramount Plus confirmed Season 2, new showrunner and EP David Wiener. With still more than a month to go until Pablo Schreiber's Master Chief hits screens to fight for the future, Paramount Plus and 343 Industries have secured his streaming future with the news that Halo will be back for a second season, writes Bleeding Cool. The news comes as the series prepares for its March 24th premiere, with David Wiener joining the series as showrunner and executive producer for the second season. Quote, Halo is an expansive world-building opportunity for Paramount Plus, and we're thrilled to give fans a second season to look forward to before we launch the series next month, said Tanya Gills, Chief Programming Officer at Paramount Plus. Halo will deliver a thrill ride for fans of the game and non-gamers alike as it ties together stunning visuals with a deep look at the personal stories behind its iconic characters, all set within an epic battle for the future of humanity. It's pretty wild. I think it bodes well for the show if they've greenlit a second season before anyone's even watched the first episode. So I think it's either they've done a bunch of test screenings and everyone's like, this is fucking awesome, let's go, and they're like, yep, cool, we're pretty happy with whatever we've done here and we're going to greenlight a second one. Or as soon as they put that first trailer out, Paramount Plus subscriptions like doubled, and then they were like, cool, well, that's proof in the pudding, second season, let's go, let's not waste time, we want it here sooner than later. We don't want to wait until all the episodes are aired to see if people like it, and then they have to wait even longer for a second season. If this is the show that's going to keep people subscribed to Paramount Plus, let's not wait around. So, what do you reckon it is, Ash? How do we get this so fast? Why did they do it?
I think part of it is the positive reaction to the trailers. Part of it could be positive feedback they've got on the pilot. I suspect a major part of it is like, we just need content. So this has got some positive buzz around it. Let's just greenlight it for a season 2, even if it's not super positively received the first season. Maybe we improve the second season and people still want more of it. I mean,
ultimately, I guess it comes down to viewers. Show could be 5 out of 10, but if Paramount Plus numbers, subscriptions are through the roof, they don't give a shit what people say, I guess. But
absolutely. So, part of me is like, there's pretty good chance this is all going to fall apart at the last minute and never air, or because this has been in development hell for ages.
It's
almost as long as Uncharted was.
a month away from coming out.
Dude, the trailer is... What is up with you and anything Xbox just being like...
No, just...
Oh, no.
Obviously, this like Uncharted has been in development hell for like over a decade.
But we've got a trailer. It's a month away. It's done.
Dylan,
it's filmed. It's in the can.
Someone could just hit the delete button at Paramount Plus.
What do you mean? So we can just eat the... Do you think that the Paramount Studios don't have any backup systems? They probably have backups for their backups backup.
They upload the one copy of each episode to the server, and the dude's
they have...
It'll be fine.
Or it turns out one of the major cast members is like a murderer or something. It's like, ooh.
like I feel like Ashley thinks that the person that uploads is in charge of it has all the episodes on USB sticks, and they're all sat on his desk.
He
accidentally pours water all over them. Like, oh no!
I did see the tweet the other day about Toy Story 2 being deleted, and it's only because one person had a backup because they were on maternity leave that movie got recovered.
Yeah, that's also like 20 years ago. I don't think that's how the world works today. Also,
it's
I
all on
love
the
how
cloud.
like I'm the kind of person who sometimes I'm like, man, like that scratch on my arm, guess I'm gonna lose my whole arm. Like you're like, well, this show's pretty close to coming out, but you know what's one of the cast members could be a murderer, so the whole thing's going to be cancelled. Like,
Who hurt you, Ashley?
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
You know,
Okay?
I'm just
I'm just being a realist by being completely exaggerating everything.
Oh, okay. It's more likely that all the cast turned out to be anti-vaxxers, all right?
All right,
That's in the
I
realm
feel
of
like
possibility.
that's probably more
I
likely than
feel
everyone
like
being a murderer.
That's
yes.
more likely, but I feel like at the same time that wouldn't stop them from releasing it.
That's true. Death and Night
true.
came out.
I don't think.
That's got a cannibal in it. Several anti-vaxxers and a cannibal walk into a room. What happens? They film Death on the Nile.
The cannibal got sick.
Well, yes, that's good. Very good.
They're going to die.
Yeah, the cannibal chose not to eat the anti-vaxxers. Ciaran, season 2 is right around the corner. Does that make you more excited? Like, for the hopes of the
yes and no. I still think it's interesting considering this Halo series isn't canon and there's a lot of stuff been changed about it.
Is that
like,
what you think?
is,
You thought it was going to tie into the games, or wouldn't you rather it just be its
No,
own thing?
I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it was gonna tie into the games. I just thought they were gonna follow a little bit closer to the game story. But I guess overall,
I mean, that's not canon. That's
Give
just
himself creative freedom.
yeah.
Yeah, which is fair enough. Look, it must be good. I don't see them greenlighting this. It's either, as you've already said, it's either good or it makes a lot of money, and they're just going to keep printing money. I think we're going to see more and more of these. Like, we had the news this week or last week that The Last of Us has been pushed back for HBO.
I hate it.
They're still filming.
I know.
Still
I don't know if you saw, but
filming.
Greg Mason put it like a casting call
Casting call.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Um,
But quick side tangent about that, by the way. Puts out casting call. He's like, I need some. I think it was like someone who's
a 7-year-old boy.
Yeah, 11-year-old
deaf.
deaf black child. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking, the first top comment I saw was, if you were casting someone who's a serial killer, would you actually want them to be a serial killer? I was like, get out of here, dude. Like, fucking just go run into a wall.
It's much easier for an 11-year-old black. It's much easier for an 11-year-old black deaf kid to play an 11-year-old black deaf kid than a 11-year-old to play that.
I was like, that's fucking disgusting. But yeah, what a fuckhead. What did you think, Ciaran?
No, I feel like we're gonna see more and more of these shows popping up now. I think we're gonna see this quality of show as well. It's not gonna be crappy, kind of quick tie-ins or kind of cash grabs. I feel like it's gonna be a lot more, especially with the success of Witcher, as we've already previously discussed. Hopefully, it's good.
I think Paramount Plus has a lot of writing on this. I'm pretty keen. I mean, I still think it looks good. I think it has potential to look good. We'll shout out that one of the dudes I work with, I asked him the other day because I knew he likes Halo. It's like, what'd you think of that trailer? He's like, trash, I hate it. I'm like, fucking. It's like, that's not Master Chief. They're gonna have him talk, all this, like he's one of these. It's like they're gonna have him talk. That's not Master Chief and all this. I'm like, Master Chief's a fucking bro dude character who drops one-liners in the game. Like, you can't make a TV show out of that.
Have you not? Obviously, he hasn't played Halo Infinite because Master Chief's dialogue has increased significantly. And it's probably just
still mostly one-liners, to be fair. He picks up again and he's like, at the same time. It's like, you've only got these, like, it's all I need. It's like,
that's it. We're taking the fight to him. Like, it is these moments of
dude's like, it's just us, Chief. It's just us, Chief. It's just you and me. That's all I need. It's like such a
hey, dude, only needs a pistol, man.
Listen, if they want a silent protagonist who wears a helmet all the time, they can just watch The Mandalorian.
Got him. Hey. And if you want a show that's protagonist isn't in several episodes, watch the fucking Book of Boba Fett.
And if you do want a show about cannibals, watch Yellow Jackets.
Yeah!
Yeah! Cannibals! Shut up! Yeah! Yeah!
Seriously though, watch Yellow Jackets. It's like one of the best shows and shit.
And if you want a show about mushrooms, watch Akabashi Bisco.
What?
Wow, you guys.
Ciaran,
watch
you should
enough
know
anime.
you're not allowed to talk about anime around Dylan.
Why? You can't talk about no. You talk about anime. You can talk about anime that doesn't sound like it's fucking the name of some spice I put in my soup. Like what the fuck?
Well, it's a show about mushrooms. Okay,
Like real mushrooms?
like yeah, mushrooms ruin the world. / save the
Is it
world.
based on The Last of Us?
Thing. No.
Okay. That's fine. Talking about mushrooms, let's talk about things that bounce off them. Not Mario, Sonic. Did you see me? I was up here, and then I went to here, and I was like, "Fuck! How do I get back to here?" I was like,
What is going on?
I was like, Mario,
Damn.
mushrooms, Sonic. Fine.
At the Olympics. Yeah.
The Olympics, and the Olympics are on, or they just finished. I don't actually know. Are they finished?
I think they're still on.
They're still on, yeah.
Yeah. Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth
Esports. Yeah.
Esports. I talked about it last week.
What is going on the last 2 episodes?
Kotaku writes Paramount goes all in on Sonic 3 and Knuckles. During a spray of announcements for its Paramount Plus streaming service, Paramount Pictures announced it is moving forward on a 3rd Sonic the Hedgehog film and a new TV series centered on Knuckles. Knuckles the Echidna makes his first appearance in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, played by Idris Elba. The film is set to release in Australia on March 31st and follows Eggman's return to Earth and the hunt for Chaos Emeralds. Don't really care about that. Getting a TV show off the ground to bolster its streaming platform is a no-brainer. Netflix and Disney count this as kind of a tie-in all the time. Spinning up the third film when the second isn't even out yet, however, is a clear indicator that Paramount feels it has another hit on its hands. So, yeah, it's Paramount's like all in. They're like, Halo, let's fucking go. Last Sonic movie, it's got currently a higher Metacritic score than Uncharted. Let's go.
It's
I mean,
arguably the
that's
best
not actually
video
what
game
happened,
movie
but-
right now.
It is the highest rated video game movie. Sonic, love that shit. Sonic Knuckles, Sonic 2, we expect it to be the bomb because Idris Elba's in it, 10 out of 10. Let's greenlight Sonic 3. Let's greenlight a spin-off TV show because we need content for a streaming service that we may or may not have had actually any need to create, but we better create content for it now. Yeah, Ciaran, you haven't watched Sonic, have you? You should.
No, I do need to watch Sonic. I guess one of the big things is, well, fucking spoilers, Paramount. We now know Sonic doesn't die at the end of Sonic 2.
That's true. That's a very good point.
You don't know.
Disappointing.
He might die and come back.
Well,
he gets revived.
What?
Or he
Okay.
Yeah, dies and comes back as Shadow. I don't know how the Sonic lore is.
Dies and comes back as Shadow, even though Shadow is like a born in a lab mutant.
I said I don't know the
Spoilers.
Sonic lore.
Who has a motorbike and has a girlfriend.
Spoilers.
And fucking.
Next, you're going to tell me he wins the Olympic Games.
He probably fucking does with his skatey boots because he doesn't actually run very fast. But also at the same time, Idris Elba is Knuckles, right? We all know Idris Elba from the smash hit Hobbs and Shaw.
Luther. Oh, sorry.
Suicide Squad.
No, Hobbs and Shaw, where
Yeah.
he.
How do they
I
fall?
don't know about those two.
I'm the Black Superman.
He's the Black Superman. So does that mean like Sonic 3 is like Knuckles gonna walk in and be like, I'm the Red Sonic?
Yeah.
Or what? Like
I mean, I'm ready for it. Have you watched the trailer? At least, Ciaran,
You ready,
for the second one?
not the
fucking
probably
awesome.
it's a bit a new one. I
Yeah.
watched like the last one where he like Knuckles walks in and
You like
There
Stop
was
Sonic?
a Super Bowl TV spot.
oh fuck no.
I'm actually
it
keen.
good?
I'm actually
Is it
legit
alright?
keen for this movie, to be honest.
You're legit keen?
Yeah, I expect it to be like
Okay.
as good as the first one, which is like
Do
a solid
we-
6 out of 10.
is-
But it's
is-
entertaining, 6 out of 10.
Is Knuckles gonna have like a rap scene
I
where he like lays a fat diss track on Sonic?
could be movie
I
of the
think
year if
that's
it did.
appropriate.
So let's. Don't
I could see it
like.
like Eggman wants to
Marsh.
do a diss track and like Sonic gets Knuckles gets a verse.
I think I actually might if I could put the first one on, like sort of do something at the same time. I'm sort of down for rewatching the first one to see if it holds up. Maybe I'll do that as something if I get time. What do I got? A month, right?
Yeah, month.
If you got time, fucking mister, I'm going to put Horizon on the back burner for all this other shit he's got to do.
Yeah.
He's got Elden Ring in a week.
Yeah,
Nobody's going to care about that game.
You're wrong there, dear sir. Wrong. Praise the sun. Wrong.
People are just going to be one weekend and they'll be.
You know it's going to win Game of the Year. I'm telling you right now. What else is coming out this year anyone cares about? Nothing.
God of War.
Fuck no.
God of War ain't coming out this year.
No.
Shell no. That game doesn't come out.
Even if it
Well,
did?
that game already got delayed.
Nah. Boy.
Nah.
Or
Boy.
get good. Like, what do you think is going to win?
Anything else?
Get good, boy.
A man in a pot.
A man,
in a pot will win.
What's a man in a
remember
pot?
that pot creature?
Pot?
From Elden Ring. There's that
Oh,
dude
that's
in a
right.
pot.
Yeah, true.
Pot Man. I don't know. He had a character name. He seemed like he probably has a good backstory. Probably
I assume they all do, yes.
probably recently got legalized or some shit. Like, you know.
That's fine. What, as a real person?
'Cause
Like, what the... what is,
Oh,
Well, no,
pod got
'cause he's
legalized.
Pot Man. Boys.
all right.
Boys.
Press start. Cyberpunk 2077's PS5 Xbox Series X update is out now with huge improvement and a free trial. CD Projekt Red has dropped the long-awaited PS5 Xbox Series X update of Cyberpunk 2077. The free update, which is out now, comes in at 50 gigabytes and adds ray tracing, 2 graphical modes on PS5 Xbox Series X, and a bunch of gameplay changes, including the way that perks operate, removing some and making others more useful. Big changes to the combat system, where enemies will look to be more agile, and big changes to the world with crowds reacting to actions and no longer despawning and spawning all over the place. The game also now has a free trial on both PS5 and Xbox Series X, where players can check out the first 5 hours and take progress with them if they choose to upgrade. So yeah, it's Series X. They released a graphic thing that shows like the features and everything and frame rate and all that sort of stuff. PS5 Series X is all the same. Series S, it's locked to 30, so that's fine, I feel, given what it is. My 2 cents is what a terrible time to release this. Other than that, Ash, obviously you stopped playing. Is this it? Are you like, now that this is out? Obviously, you got Horizon, but I mean, like after that, sometime this year, are you like?
I mean,
go back, or?
It's possible that I'll go back. It's like this. It makes it more likely. I feel like I want to wait and see other people's opinions on whether it's worth jumping back in.
General reaction I'm seeing is everyone's like, it's good now, but also like the hype's worn off, so everyone's like, it's good now. Like, not like this game's awesome. Everyone's like, yeah, this game's like playable now, but also. I talked about it 2 years ago, and I don't like Horizon's out now, so like next big thing. So it's just a weird week to release it. I feel really awkward. It's not like they didn't know Horizon was coming out this week, so I don't know.
They didn't know Horizon was coming out this week, and Elden Ring was coming out the following week.
Yeah, they didn't know, even though those release dates have been locked in for quite some time. That's a bit weird.
They live in Poland. Like it's just
time zone. Horizon came out at the same time in Poland. I don't know. Like Poland, I believe runs in the same like hemisphere country as us, world, globe. Don't know what I was saying there about the country. It's a completely different country, some would say.
Well, the country actually is slower in time because that's how they get more time to crunch.
It's a very good point. It does explain a lot.
It seems like they're crunching, but they're just, it's just the days melding together.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't perceive 100%. Their days, the separation of days, so it looks like crunch from the outside.
If you never sleep, you only ever work 1 day a week, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's true.
Damn straight.
Got him there. Prove that one in court, motherfuckers. Kira, do you have any thoughts on this?
I thought like some points that we thought were pretty interesting about this one was there are areas they've added into the game that you cannot access from the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the system. Like they've done enough to this game now that takes it beyond the realms of like the previous generational version. I think they've not only added kind of fixes and graphical changes, but they've added a whole bunch of content. I think there's apparently a lot more scenes or events that happen with love interests. There's more kind of missions and stuff being added. It's interesting. I kind of see Cyberpunk as like No Man's Skying itself a little bit, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, I part of me is just wanting CD Projekt Red to just let Cyberpunk rest now that it's in a decent state and in a little while, and just start kind of trying to pick themselves up and make a new game, either whether that's a Witcher game or find something else to do.
I'll say I'm pleased that they got this update done before the Witcher 3
the Witcher
update.
thing. Yeah. Imagine if they put out the Witcher 5 PS5 before this. Everyone would be like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, they'd be happy because they'd probably prefer to play Witcher 3 again then.
Probably. I saw Polygon had an article up that was like, it was just like a editorial where it was like, I tried the author, I can't remember who wrote it, but someone was like, you know, I tried jumping back into it. The plays a lot better, and I was really enjoying my time. And they were pretty much like talking about how their brain was like processing it, being like, oh yeah, like I forgot like all the problems, and then they like went back in and thought it was like, but hold on, I had problems with this game before all the technical issues, and that was from the, you know, which is one of those things that I guess sort of got brushed under because the game's all the technical issues like sort of covered up for all the stuff we were discussing prior to release with the sort of transphobic stuff and all that other sort of stuff. So I was like, I don't know whatever happened to those discussions. They sort of just died off once the game came out, and everyone was like, it runs like crap, and everyone was like, all right, there's nothing really to talk about here. I guess I'm moving on. But and then the last news story for this week, still related to Cyberpunk. So PC Gamer writes, Witcher 3 director and Cyberpunk 2077 veterans announce a new studio, a AAA dark fantasy RPG. Konrad Tomaszewski, I'm so sorry, director of Witcher 3 and producer secondary director on Cyberpunk 2077, has today announced a new studio formed up of CD Projekt Red veterans. It's called Rebel Wolves. Based in Warsaw, Poland, the press release rather pointedly noted that Tomaszewski, I'm sorry, I can't even, and that point,
you can't.
Envisioned a new studio with a united goal of doing things differently while also putting the team first at all times. Interesting. The press release really goes to town on the whole team angle, quote, unified by the mission of putting team first always. They believe that happy people create great games together as they endeavor to revolutionize the RPG genre with their first project, end quote. PC Gamer continues, I'm getting the sense that someone was enormously impressed with how things ended up going at Cyberpunk 2077. That aside, the person's name I can't pronounce will act as CEO and director of the studio's first game, which at the moment is unnamed and is a piece of concept art at the header of this article. It's of a dude sliding down a cliff with a staff or a spear, I guess, spear. Other CD Projekt Red veterans joining Rebel Wolves are the design director who worked on The Witcher, narrative director who worked on Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077 and Thronebreaker, animation director who worked on Witcher 3, Shadow Warrior 2, art director who worked on Witchers 1 to 3, CFO, and the studio head, Robert something or other, but they don't list places. Anyway, cool studio made up of, I guess, people who were sick of, by the sounds of the press release and the way they sort of promoted it, as we're the people that made all the games you like, but we're trying to do CD Projekt Red better without all the negative connotations that's now sitting over there, and we're really going to promote that we're not doing the shit that they were doing, but still going to make really cool RPGs that you know and love us all for. That's kind of how it reads to me, at least from all the press release sort of stuff. What do you take from it, Ash?
Yeah, I think that's how they're trying to sell it. But it's very early on. It's like, okay, let us know when you've got something.
Yeah. Make a game and don't break those rules, and then
come back to us.
Come back to us. Ciaran?
I think we're constantly getting these stories about one or two developers or groups of developers breaking off of larger companies and making their own dev team. And I feel like they don't succeed as often as they kind of struggle. I feel like you can have great game designers and game developers, but if you don't have the infrastructure and the system set up to be able for them to make the games, it doesn't work as well. I wish them the best, and I hope they find a way to succeed. But at the same time, it's always an interesting choice for them to make, and I hope they do pull it through.
I mean, new studio means they got hired more people. CDPR hires more people. I guess it's good for people looking for work in a AAA development place, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting. I was surprised about people who weren't covering this, I feel. because I feel like CD Projekt Red is sort of like one of the biggest game studios, most prolific game studios of recent years, and a bunch of like big people from it splinter off to make what they're calling another AAA game studio. And I was surprised it wasn't getting like sort of as like, I mean, it was getting covered, but it wasn't like, hey, this is like really cool, can't wait to see what they do, sort of thing. So I was surprised because I feel like it is that level of intrigue. Like I'm definitely interested. If all the pieces come together as they're saying, like, hey, we're going to have a better workplace culture, and like a lot of us are the head creatives from CDPR, the games you know and love, and we're just going to do it better, then I feel like that's exciting if it all comes true. So, all right, that'll do it. This week's episode, Arcade Couch. Of course, just reiterate what we said at the start. Ciaran's got a new house. The Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Explosion Network, 7 p.m. This coming Saturday, which is what is this date? I've already forgot. It's the
26th.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. It's the 26th of February.
Look in the calendar.
7 p.m. I just did. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Come join us. Come watch us talk shit. I don't know what we're talking about. We'll talk about some stuff. Podcast, do it live, talk about some stuff. Mostly if you're there interacting, then we'll just...
It'll be about video games, right?
I have no idea. To be honest, it could be about anything.
What are we... No. This is a wrestling podcast,
sure,
right?
Maybe. Do whatever we want.
Sports?
Do it live. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
Like some kind of guru?
Okay. If someone wants to come in the chat and like be like, hey, what's happening on the grandstand? And fucking whatever. Play the theme tune music. Well, how did it start?
Do we have that on here?
UFC?
Do we still have that on?
I don't know. I probably do. Who knows? It's in the archive. Was that dude the theme song for that show started with?
It's
time. Yeah, that mate, old mate from UFC. Yeah, that dude. Do that.
Yeah,
Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. It's a 5-year celebration of Explosion Network. So yeah, just come hang. We're not making a big deal, but we're doing something. So
also explosion.com/Discord or at Explosion Pod if you want to play among us.
Yes. Or if you want to beat Ciaran's ass in Mario Kart when that happens as well.
They ain't beating my ass. I am the reigning defending.
Yeah, we shall see.
Explosion Network Wrestling Champion.
You're the Brock Lesnar of championship brands.
I'm fucking exactly. I'm the
Never
Eric
shows
Bischoff
up, but holds the title
of this company.
Fucking hell.
I showed up every fucking week.
You haven't defended it.
Show up, fucking Buddy
You haven't
Watson.
defended it since.
Buddy Watson, you didn't show up every week.
ExplosionNetwork.com/Twitter. That takes you to all our Twitters. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. Again, come join Discord. And if you like this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to ExplosionNetwork.com/support. Donate to our Ko-fi page. Or if you want to send us a birthday donation this coming Saturday, that's the place to do it for sure. That would be good to see that over there as well. And until next week, same time, same place, or Saturday. See you then. Or whenever. I mean, there's a million podcasts.
We do a lot of podcasts.
Whenever I see you next. Whatever. Yeah, just whenever I'm seeing you. Hey, whenever I'm looking at you, kid. Whatever that line is. Bye. Why are you looking at me like that?
You know why.